If you're a singer, here are 5 tips that will help you get professional sounding vocals in the recording studio. Tip number 1 is to warm up your voice. And no, I don't mean for you to do countless scale exercises because I never found that helpful, and honestly I just don't like doing it. What I do mean is on the way to your next session, I would encourage you to go through the song that you're about to record a couple of times. And if you have a car, that is the perfect place to do so. This is 1, going to warm up your vocal cords, and 2, it's gonna help you get a sense for which parts may be easy and which parts you may struggle with. This way, you're gonna have a game plan before even arriving at the studio on what you wanna record first. And this is important because if you just step in front of a microphone and you haven't sung all day, chances are your volume output is gonna be this high, which means whoever's setting up the gain levels are going to have to crank it up to get a good signal. But then by your 5th, your 10th, your 20th take, your voice will naturally get much louder, and so you might run the risk of clipping the microphone, then having to redial the settings and re-record. So if possible, in order to save time, don't forget to warm up your voice. Tip number 2, stay hydrated and be careful what you eat right before a recording session. You would be amazed how out of the blue you may get a scratchy throat, start to cough, and completely destroy your voice. So bring a water bottle with you or ask the studio to provide you with one. This way you have something to clear your throat without damaging your voice. Also, be very careful what you eat right before a session, because chugging down a milkshake, having a slice of greasy pizza, or eating extremely spicy food will not do you any favors. And you can probably guess how I found that out the hard way. Tip number 3 is the 3-take rule. This has by far been the most useful tip when it comes to saving time both in recording and editing. The whole concept is if you can record a single section of a song, whether that's the verse, the chorus, the bridge, in 3 takes, then that means that you are not ready to record. You should go back home, rehearse, and then come back to the studio when you're better prepared. And just to be clear, I am not including vocal doubles or harmonies. Those are something completely different. And by limiting yourself to only 3 takes, you're going to instinctively know which one you did your best at, and so you can use that as your main track. And then if there is a word or a phrase that you don't like, maybe you got off pitch or off beat, then you or the mixing engineer have 2 other takes to pick from, and this is going to ultimately help you save your voice and speed up the editing process. Because trust me, nobody wants to sit there and go over 50 different takes for every line in a song. That gets really boring really fast, and not to mention it's a time kill. Tip number 4 is to learn the vocal harmonies. I'll never forget the first time that I walked into a professional studio to track vocals. Me and my college friends had a band, and so we were recording our first single, and I was able to knock out the lead vocal within 30 minutes or so. But as I was about to remove my headphones and walk out of the booth, the producer looks at me and said, "Great job, Nolan, now let's do the harmonies." And I completely froze because I forgot to even think about the vocal harmonies, and because I've never been the best harmonizer, I kid you not, the producer had to sit there on the other room and then with the keyboard figure out note by note of what I needed to record, and that took forever. I felt super embarrassed, super unprepared, not to mention I kept messing up a lot. So if you don't want to go through the same scenario, make sure to learn all of your parts before setting foot in the studio, and this is going to help you save time and money. By the way, if you're getting value out of today's content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. The next tip that I want to share with you is to sing with emotion. I think Cole Caparoon said it best when he said,
I always tell a singer a couple things. I always tell them that I have a button for pitch and I have a button for timing, but I do not have a button for emotion. So my job as a producer when I'm producing a vocal is to get the singer to sing it with the most authentic emotion possible.
And that is so true, because if you just stand there in front of a mic super stiff, super stressed, just trying to hit the notes, it's gonna come through the recording. And let's not forget, the vocal is the most important thing in any mix and the best way to sell any song. So just try to get loose, be in the moment, try to convey some sort of feeling through the lyrics, and just have fun, because at the end of the day, that's what creating music is all about. And here's a bonus tip: if you want to book future gigs and have the ability to work with other people in the music industry, the number one piece of advice that I can give you is to be easy to work with. And I know we all don't want to hear this, but singers, myself included, we all have egos. We all think that we know what's best for the song and how things should sound, especially when it comes to recording our own voice. But if you're working with a more experienced producer, chances are they've been doing this for much longer than you, and they worked with countless other singers. So if they want to try an idea, just be a good sport and do it. It doesn't necessarily mean that that will end up as the final mix, and this will show them that 1, you're able to cooperate, 2, you are coachable, and 3, you're willing to do whatever it takes to make the song sound its best. And I promise you, this will 100% increase your chances of getting future work in the music industry. And by the way, if you have any tips that you want to share with our community, don't forget to leave them in the comments below. Also, if you want to take your vocals to the next level, then make sure to click on this video and I'll show you my entire vocal chain.